So compared to the previous speakers, maybe I'm a bit more on the traditional side of teaching, probably. um, but nevertheless, I think it's cool stuff that we do. So before Corona, I was teaching exercise classes with like 25 people in a classroom, almost a school setting, right? So uh, nothing too fancy there. And due to Corona, we had to move it online. So we went to Zoom and okay, 30 people in the chat in Zoom. But then I realized with my colleague that we could just merge our groups. Why not, you know? And we started developing the materials for these exercise sessions together. And this was a lot of fun doing this together in tandem teaching. And this semester, so the fall semester, this into an actual project to really develop materials for the course. In this case, it was medical physics, the physics for medical students. So it's a big lecture with the 200, 300 students. And okay, we gave it a fancy name. We called it Engaging Physics Tutoring because we thought that we could create better materials than they usually get. And I could just show you very briefly what it's about. So the goal was to create easy to use materials, which were, okay, supposed to be engaging. This, of course, depends on the motivation of the students always, but okay. And they should support the lecture. So what we have is usually big homework sheets that the students have to do. They're quite challenging usually. And one problem is to link these exercises to the lecture, what they actually learn, okay? So these were the three main goals. For the assistants, it should be easy to use, engaging and supporting the lecture. And the final product should then be like a portfolio of these materials, 12 exercise sessions compiled into a polybook, which next time an assistant teaches this course, he could just pick these materials and get inspired. Probably it doesn't work to just do it copy paste, but he could be inspired by this, and it will really help him to save a lot of time in the development. So for example, we would do these summary slides where in this case it's about forces, you know, how do forces act on bodies, and then it's a nice summary for the students. They can have a look. It helps them to kind of structure the knowledge. The interactive part would usually be a multiple choice session of, let's say, 15 minutes or so of multiple choice questions. And we also, to make it kind of engaging, we designed hits of the lesson, we call them. So funny little stuff that you could do either at home while watching on Zoom. So here, for instance, there's you can really show that all bodies fall at the same rate, right? You take this banknote, it floats down slowly, then you have this super heavy book, it falls down quickly. You place the banknote on the book and both fall at the same time. Or I can show you now. Go back to my page. This was actually one of the top highlights, really. You see this coffee mug. If I strike it here, you see this sound. If I strike it here, same sound again. But if I go at 45 degrees, you see, there's a difference. So then we can talk about it. And all these small stuff, you know, this was really the highlight for me, that in the sense that it works, you know, you can do this stuff also online, and the students were quite engaged, I would say. If you, of course, it requires a little bit of preparation, but you can do this stuff. So this was really a big relief for me, I would say, this semester. So yeah, developing these materials and seeing that they kind of work together with this this nice team where the professor Günther de Sartori was teaching it. The main materials were developed by Vida, Jonas, and me, and Guillaume Schiltz was the advisor, so to speak, and we even had a nice graphics designer from Ukraine. So this was a cool team, this was really fun developing these materials. And yeah, it's of course it's not limited to physics for medical students, right? You can do it for everything. And our hope would be that maybe in the physics department more people get inspired by this and try to do similar stuff for their courses. The amount of time you save is insane, really, because we distributed these materials to, I think, 8 teaching assistants or so, and they were so happy having this. So if you do this more traditional style of teaching, where you have exercise classes and homework, which has to be solved, and the students are usually it's way too much everything for them, so they have to have a very streamlined course which helps them to just manage the exam. I would say this is a very nice way to go. And yeah, it was really fun doing this. And then since we were teaching in tandem, also, of course, the discussions during the lecture was really nice also. So sometimes in these multiple choice questions, I did a mistake, okay? And then my tandem partner could immediately correct me, but in a very nice, friendly atmosphere where we were discussing the physics, actually, right? So this is possible, especially, yeah, if you do it tandem, like so. This is yeah, this was probably my teaching highlight of this semester, developing these materials and trying them out. It was really fun.
Thank you, Manuel, for this great presentation, also for this life experiment, some physics, lunchtime physics, really cool. And I think that goes to show how important real life examples are in teaching. If you see a drawing of that cup on a sheet of paper and some formula, it's different than the teaching assistant showing you that it's actually happening. And it's really cool approach. And also the fact that you develop these little sequences yourself, really cool, and then you shared it. So are there any questions for Manuel from the community?
Yeah, I would like to know, Manuel, the team teaching, was it planned anyways, not because of Corona times, or did you choose to do it in team teaching because of this special kind of environment you have to teach in?
It's I would say Corona was the catalyst. We always kind of compared our materials and talked about how it went for you, how it went for me. And then came Corona in February. And then we just said, okay, I mean, let's just merge them and see what happens. Yeah, yes. So in the strict sense, yes, it was because of Corona that we started this tandem teaching. And then we talked to the professors what they think about it, if we could try it really in a real, like officially, because we kind of did it. Nobody really, nobody was aware that we were doing this. And then we asked formally if it was okay. And yes, they wanted to have these, wanted to try it out. And I think next semester we'll do it again, yes? Yeah.